Hello, everybody, and happy Mental Health Monday. So today I'm going to talk about something that I've maybe mentioned in passing to some of you before, but it's something that I've heard a lot about in the past, but I've only actually put it into practice recently because I just on paper, I didn't know that it would help me very much, but has actually become one of my new favorite things to do because it doesn't take very much time and it's extremely effective at reducing, particularly stress and anxiety, is what I use it for, but all sorts of negative emotions, anger, sadness, fear, lots of different stuff. So it's called emotional freedom technique, or tapping is probably how most people have is what most people have heard it called. I don't quite remember where I heard about it first in one of the series that I watched, and I ended up signing up for a newsletter from a man named Nick Ortner, who is probably the most well-known promoter of tapping. And he has a website and an app, if you're interested, called the Tapping Solution, and I'll talk about it. I'll mention it again at the end. But I ended up on his mailing list, and for months and months kind of just ignored the emails. And then one day pretty recently, I was feeling a lot of stress and anxiety, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'll give this a try. And that first day, I think I did 3 or 4 different tapping meditations. Like I just couldn't stop, like, because they felt so awesome. So when you're tapping on major nerve endings, or they're also called meridian points, and they're derived from acupuncture. And by doing so, people are able to calm themselves down and release negative emotions. So often tapping, you can just tap and breathe, and sometimes I just do that quickly if I'm feeling acutely anxious or stressed, and I don't have time to do a full 5 or 10 minute meditation. But often they're paired with a script that you say as you tap on the various points. And the script relates to whichever negative emotion you're feeling, whether that's stress or anxiety or anger or fear or whatever, insecurities. And first you say a negative script to release those negative emotions, and then you follow it up with a positive one to help you attain and then reinforce that new positive emotion energy. I'll just demonstrate quickly the 9 tapping. There's 9 major tapping points, or the most common ones that get used. So the first one we always start with is, it's called the karate chop point, because it's like you're karate chopping. And then you move to the inside of your eyebrow, and then the outside of your eye, sort of right on the edge of the bone there. And then just underneath your eye, again, right on the occipital, I think it's occipital bone. Anyway, ocular bone, right underneath your eye, and then under your nose, under your mouth, on your chin. Your collar bones, this one tends to be the most calming. So you kind of go right where the semicircle in your neck is there, and then you go out about an inch from that, and you'll find these 2 little indents, like where your clavicle meets. And so you tap right there. I usually do both, but you can just do one. And then under your arm is sort of, if you're wearing a bra, it's, for those of us who still do, it's right under here, right where your bra sits, sort of. And then the top of your head is the last one. And it's interesting because it's sort of places where you already touch yourself if you're anxious. Like, you put your hand through your hair, you kind of rub like around your eyes. You might, like put your hand over your mouth. You might put your hand to your chest. So that's one thing that I found very interesting. Or you bring your hands, it's sort of on these points that we already go to when we are feeling anxious and stressed. So that's something that I found really interesting the first time that I tried it. And then actually trying it was pretty powerful. Like I said, I could not stop doing them. I think I did 3 or 4 in a row, 10 minutes each. Like, I just sat there with the app and did them. because yeah, like it felt so awesome. I felt so much better afterwards. So I'll do the how we can just start out. You can start out really simple is just don't even worry about a script or saying anything. If a particular emotion or thought comes up while you're tapping, you're welcome to vocalize that and try to release it. But just while you're getting used to the order of the tapping points and stuff, just breathe. So you start on the karate chop, and I would take maybe 3 deep breaths, and then feel it out whenever you take a minimum of 3, but whenever you feel ready, just move on to the next point. And again, I would say, 2 or 3 minimum breaths for each of the remaining points, or more. You're welcome to do more, just however many feels comfortable, or however many until you start feeling relief. And just, cycle through all of the positions or all of the tapping points, and make sure you're taking at least 2 to 3 deep breaths on each of them. And for the first one, the karate chop point, at least 3. And that's it. So just to demonstrate remind you one more time, the karate chop is always first. Then you go to the inside of your eyebrow, the outside of your eye, underneath your eye, under your nose, under your mouth, your collarbones, under your arm, and the top of your head. And like I said before, you're welcome to do this one. Really, you can just do on one side because you need both hands, but all the other ones you can do 2 hands, 1 hand, one side, both sides. 2 hands, doesn't matter, just as long as you're hitting those points in that order. And breathe. So I will post a video next week with a little script so that you can see or you can hear what that's like. And in the meantime, if you're interested, Nick Order's app is called the Tapping Solution, and his website's the same. You can Google it if you want. The app, you can get a certain amount of meditations for free because you can download the app for free. It's not a ton. I think there's maybe 10 or 15 that you can get for free. And if you want access to all of it, then you have to pay for it, of course. But if you're interested in trying it out, just downloading the app, the free version of the app, is a really great way to kind of get an introduction to it, and to see if it works for you. Because it was pretty crazy. I made Jesse do it when he got home that same day, and he experienced the same thing. He just did the breathing and tapping. He didn't do a script at all, but he said even that for like 5 minutes helped him too. So it's quick, 5 minutes or less. Most of the meditations on the app are a maximum of 10 or 11 minutes. So it's quick and it's effective. You can fit it in really anywhere, and it'll make you feel so much better. I promise. Okay, so I'm off to go for a walk. I hope you all had a lovely weekend and a wonderful Monday, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.